Hey guys, welcome to my studio. Today is another exciting day where I'm here making music. Today I wanted to film a little tutorial. A lot of you asked me about how I actually make my piano sound, especially how I made the piano sound for my final warning track. So that's coming up next. If you don't know what the piano is sounding like, just listen to the intro.
Oh, daylight, still so blind. She's never gonna walk away, but leave you with the mess you made.
I actually decided to not go into the final warning track and show you how I made the piano. Actually, I have another track coming up. It's at the moment called Stay Forever, also with Gavin, and it has already a piano in it, but I didn't do the processing to the piano to make it sound as good as in the final warning track that was already released. So first up for a good piano sound is of course choosing the right plugin to create that piano sound. I'm always going for the one by Native Instrument, Contact. It's the Grandeur. It's a nice grand piano sound that kind of always works. You have a lot of settings in here. For example, you can close the lid, you can open it again, you can set it to play hard, to play soft, you can change the anatomy, which is quite important. What I especially love to use is the stereo image thing. You can set it to wide and just make the piano sound a lot wider in a more natural way than using the S1 imager by Waves or by doing a sample delay. It's kind of built right into it. There are also plenty other good piano plugins on the market. For me, it's just this one. I just love the sound of it. It also has like a reverb section in it that I actually never use. I always use my own reverbs just to have more control. But yeah, enough talking. Let's actually listen to it. I already played in the chords. They are played in with MIDI. You can see them right here. So a very simple, nice chord progression. And that's the sound of it. Let me actually also play the rest of the elements so that you have like the context.
Then is what it seems. Walk the mile, we walk alone, trying to find our way home. Walk the mile, we walk alone.
It's very, very, very rough at the moment. That's like the project right after the recording session. Next up is actually setting up the reverb for it. I have here the Logic internal reverb, the Space Designer. It's using a preset called Prince Hall 1. I've just mixed a tiny bit of it into the piano and gives it like a space within the mix and makes it sound wider and nicer. Speaking of wide, I will also widen the piano sound a tiny bit and check with the analyzer if it's still okay. So we're here already getting quite a lot into the antiphase, which, yeah, some people do on pop tracks. That might be actually even nice to do, to have more space for the vocals, but you have to know whenever you go into the antiphase with sounds that might sound really nice and wide, but the second someone listens to it in mono, the sounds will vanish and like cancel out each other. So we'll turn the width a little bit down again. I think this way it makes more sense. We still have enough space in the middle for the vocals. To get even more space for them, it makes sense to EQ them, so listening to the piano and the vocals and removing a little bit of the mid-frequency part of the piano.
Trying to find our way home. Walk the mile, we walk alone, trying to find our way home.
I also removed a little bit of the low end because I'm intending definitely to put like a sub bass underneath playing the root chords, so I don't need that much bass actually coming from the piano.
Trying to find our way home.
And I think next up is actually the thing that made the chords special on my final warning track and that I also want to do on this one. I will bounce out the piano as it is right now. Of course, 24-bit wave, highest quality. And before anyone says it in the comments, yes, I know I can bounce in place, but I don't know, I'm so used to it. And whenever I need to reuse things, especially effect sounds, I already have them as an audio on my hard drive. So now I align them in a way that they're playing underneath of each other, and it's time to cut the bounced out version right there where the chord changes are. Right here again, here again, another one, and that's the last one. And what I now do is like double click on it, go into function and just reverse it. So this way now you have like the chord playing and then immediately the same chord as a reverse sound. I usually mix the reversed chords in just like half of the volume, and you have to make sure that they stop whenever the next chord is hitting, otherwise it will start clashing. So yeah, let's reduce the volume by half. First the normal chord. Now the same with the reversed one, but just for the first chord. So let's actually also reverse the second one. I think that's a pretty easy, simple trick to make your piano chords sound bigger. It also emphasizes the next chord immediately because it's like rising again. Let's actually also make sure that the rest of them is also reversed. Why can't Logic do that to all of them? I have to click into every single one to make it. I don't know why. Maybe there is a way to do it with all of them at once. If you know the way, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this little quick tutorial on how I make my piano sounds, my chord piano sounds sound more interesting with the little reverse effect, make them sound wide and sit nice in the mix and not clash that much with the vocal. I will now continue working on the track. Probably next up is continuing working on the drums, making the main drop. I still don't have an idea for the main drop because I want to keep the track like in a ballad kind of mood and having like a big DJ drop with, I don't know, pitched vocals or anything like that doesn't really seem to fit to the vibe. So I need to come up with something new, which is usually the hardest, takes the longest. But I hope I will be able at the end of the day to have something that is good.
Take me to the promised land. This was your final warning. Don't act like you're the last to know.
All done with work for today. This reversed piano thing works really great. You can also try out applying effects on top of the reversed piano, making it wider with a chorus, or maybe distort it a little, or just shifting it around. Or if you use it on big room EDM, you could use it on like the main synthesizer sound, reverse a couple of notes and make it this way way more interesting. I also see this being used on like future bass chord steps, just to have some of them reversed, to have like the snap to the snare even more pronounced. But yeah, it's actually already quite late, so I think it's a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Tomorrow definitely coming up the Arturia Keylab review. Can't wait to open it and test it. I'm now invited to a private birthday party, so taking the scooter to the city center, maybe 1 or 2 beers and then back home. Business stuff tomorrow back in the studio, the review. So don't forget to like, subscribe. See you tomorrow again.
You had the chance to save her, be her savior. Now leave her alone. This was your final warning. Don't act like you're the last to know. You had the chance to save her, be her savior. Now leave her alone.